here we are just outside the castles of Babolat, where King Burky and his little jester Badger like to stroll around, looking at board games that were planted in the years gone by and seeing which of these are still standing in the woods of Evergreen.
Hey, hey, hey!
Ho, ho, ho!
We are live!
We are
the
indeed.
Burky! It's the Badger! And we are doing the Woods of Evergreen, games that stand the test of time from the year 2015. Ha-ha!
Yes, that. Exactly what he said.
There it is. Look at that. That's like a professional graphic.
Kind of.
Professional. Look at all that green stuff. And I feel like Ewoks could be jumping out of those woods.
Yeah, they could do. And look, the trees behind us are not moving. We disappear, and then we reappear. We're in the wrong place.
It's not quite thematic, is it?
It's not very thematic. So, the Woods of Evergreen. The Woods of Evergreen is where we just have a stroll down memory lane and talk about games that we really love and still inspire to play from a particular year. And this year is 2015. And there were some beauties, weren't there?
Oh my goodness! No, I have to admit, last time we did the 2014, and I was so impressed with 2014. I mean, that was an amazing year for board games. 2015, I went through the list on the Board Game Geek, and I found out how to do that really simply. You go over to the search bar, and then you right-click in the search bar, and it says Advanced Search, and then you can put in a date, and then it pulls up all these games from that date.
Yeah, like this. So you go over here.
We're teaching people now things.
We're teaching people, yeah. And we're advertising for Board Game Geek.
Absolutely.
You click on the search, and then you go Advanced Search.
Advanced, boom, boom.
And then you get this screen which asks you for a title or a designer or a publisher.
Title.
Yeah, title, an age range. So you can search for games as well, particular styles. You can go into categories and mechanics or subdomains or playing times even. But here you go into year release range. I normally type in the year and then from 2015 to 2015, of course. And then you click submit or you tap enter. And there you go. You have a list. And I better not show too much because some of these might be games that I'm talking about. And that's all the games that were released in 2015. And there are a ton.
Pretty cool.
It's 50 pages of about, 100 games each? No, it can't be that.
There's a potload.
There's a potload.
So we're going to be able to come back to do 2015 once we circle all the way around, because we'll go back to the year 2000 or something, and then come back, and we're going to each do 3 of our games. And I got to admit, when I went through this list, it was super easy for me to immediately grab the ones I wanted to talk about, because some of my favorite games of all time are on this list.
From this year. I found it a bit harder. I made a list. I made a list of games, and I thought, okay, right, I need to pick 3, which Burky's probably not going to talk about. So these games will probably be unique in some sense.
And that's always good and fun. So for my first game of 2015 that I think still stands the test of time comes from the publisher Roxley Games. And Roxley Games, I got to tell you a quick story about this particular one, but I was actually able to play the prototype of this game before it went to Kickstarter at Dice Tower Con late in the evening, and it was like, Red, I don't know if I can play a prototype right now. And oh no, it goes pretty quick. We sat down. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Then I was able to receive the production copy. But in this, you are creating contraptions, and it has a steampunk feel to it, and it's a racing game. So you're producing contraptions. Yep, there it is. You got it, baby. Steampunk Rally.
Yay.
And the thing that's really cool about this game is you can play 2 to 8 players. And I absolutely love the engine building that happens with this game. But there's also some dice mitigation. There's characters that you can be, as you can see in these pictures that Barry's showing up. And you get different abilities for these dice that fuel your contraption. And you're building on this contraption by adding additional cards. And there's a little bit of a drafting mechanism there. There's that dice mitigation that is built into it. The artwork is fantastic. The whole world of this thing, there's 108 dice that come in this game. I absolutely love it. Just recently, they did a new Kickstarter, which expands and has a new game, which I backed on Kickstarter. But I love this game. It's always exciting to get to the end. It's exciting to build your engine and know when and when not to. I love drafting. I love dice mitigation. So I thought it was fantastic. Steampunk Rally from Roxley Games.
Cool.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Obscure game from Mr. It's even got an English name now. Oh, that's really interesting.
English name. All right.
An English name.
English name.
My pick, a game that we've played buckets of times here in the family. I think I've played it with you, and it's called Le Bois de Cortu, which is a French game from a French publisher, which is called Nut Job. It's the first time I've seen this.
Nut Job. I've been called that a few times.
Yeah, and this is a fun family memory game where you are a bunch of squirrels and you're trying to remember where you planted your nuts. And you're going to have like a grid laid out with some nuts around the outside. And you are going to choose one of the lines, either horizontally or vertically. And you are going to try and remember either... That's a weird formation, actually, just thinking about it. That's not the right formation. It's normally a 3x3 grid like that with nuts on the outside. And you need to remember from one side to the other the color or the shape of... of the object. Okay, you're trying to memorize your route from tree to tree. So you go, is it stone mushroom plant or is it stone mushroom stone? And these cards are double-sided. So as you're flipping them over, maybe another player is coming horizontally while you're going vertically, and so you're going to be turning this card over, and they're going to be turning this card over, and it's a memory game where you're trying to remember, as I said, remember either the by color or by stone, mushroom, or leaf. And
so it's kind of like rock, paper, Spock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's as simple as that, but at the same time, it is chaotic madness. It's a small box, and this is the second one, which comes with a bunch of wild boars, and you can mix them together. So you can make bigger maps, and you can have 8 players, and you can actually double layer the cards. So some players can flip just the one card, whereas if you've got 2 cards on top of each other, you flip the 2 cards, or you flip the 1 card, and it's just chaos. But it's so hilarious. We take it with us on holiday all the time, and we always play it. It's a very simple, easy kind of game to get into. So definitely, what's the word? I've forgotten all the words now.
Filler game.
It's a filler game, but it's also a starter game, an introductory game to people new to the hobby. And that's my game, Nut Job.
I don't remember playing with that. I don't remember playing that game with you. I remember playing with you, and you're a nut job. I'm a nut job. We're all a nut job. Everybody's a nut job. No, okay. Felt like a song was happening there.
No,
you're a nut. I'm a nut. Everyone's a nut. Okay, maybe not. Okay, my number 2 game.
Yep.
From 2015. This is from one of my dearest friends that happens to be a designer in the board game hobby. I absolutely love this guy. He's designed a ton of fantastic games, including the Mystery Rummy series, including uh, uh, I just lost it. Diamonds,
Diamonds.
the game from Stronghold Games. But I absolutely love this two-player game. It actually can be played three-player. I don't like it that way. It's an amazing tournament game, but it's my favorite two-player game of all time, and it is
Baseball highlights.
Baseball Highlights 2045. And look at that signature from my good old buddy. He says, play ball. Mike Fitzgerald.
Wow.
Love Mike. He's a dear friend of mine. I love his designs. I love being around him at conventions. But when I first got introduced to this game, I just went nuts. I have all the expansions. It's all sleeved. I have the special little baseball meeples that you can get from Meeple Source. What's so cool about this game is the asymmetric play, back and forth play that you're doing, and it's a deck builder, but it's more of a strategic deck builder. Now those are cool little guys.
They were.
But you have three main types of it. It's set in 2045. Baseball had fallen out of favor. And then all of a sudden, cybernetic implants started happening, and then robots who started to play the game, which made it very exciting and very fast-moving. And there were very few of the naturals who could still compete with the robots and the cyborgs. And so there are these three different cards that they have different abilities that play back and forth with one another. You have 6 cards in your hand, but then there's this drafting mechanism where you get to improve your players. And the artwork of this game is, I love this game, and they use really fun, older baseball. Like one of my favorite cards is Barry Sosa, and he is good for 2 home runs.
And for dipping your chips into.
Yeah, Barry Sosa, yes. Very, very good Sosa. So, but it's obviously, it's a play on words there from Barry Bonds to Sammy Sosa, who were 2 big home run hitters. And the game has that type of flavor that's added to it. The artwork embellishes that. It's so fantastic. And you do not have to be a baseball fan to play this game. This is a card game that has a baseball theme, but the only thing you really need to know about baseball is how to run bases. So I absolutely love it. I've had the opportunity to play this tournament with many of my dear friends in the hobby. Trent Turner's there. He says, you beat me at Dice Tower tournament. And that began a very, very cool friendship with Trent, because we had a really cool pod in the tournament and helped them out a little bit with how to learn the game. And I didn't win that tournament. Philip Millman.
Yeah.
Millman won it. And Millman. Anyway, I'm not bitter, Millman, in case you just happen to be listening. But Derek Funkhauser, Evan Smaltz, I'm forgetting names now of all the people that Dan King, the Game Boy Geek, and Alex Goldsmith from Dukes of Dice. And I actually happened to win the tournament one year against Ralph Anderson, who is one of the noted best players. Philip Millman also is actually just a very, very good baseball highlights player. But we love this. There's a great iOS application that you can also play this on. And I just love it. If you like that type of back and forth, asymmetric drafting type of game, strategy, deck building, this is a great game. Love it to death. Baseball Highlights 2045, Eagle Griffin Games.
Okay, my second pick. Another... Well, I don't think it's obscure, but I just think it didn't get enough love.
Didn't get enough love?
No, it's a game called Imagine.
Imagine all the people.
Now, this is a party-style game.
Oh, not that kind of Imagine.
No, not that kind of Imagine. We love you too, Rob Searing.
Rob Searing. Love you guys. Love you, Rob.
And the great thing about this game is it's, one of those party games where someone's got a word and they got to try and transmit that word to the other players. And there's obviously a deck of cards with a load of words on. So, like, for instance, it's all in French. So I say un objet as my clue. And then I have my word here, which is a parachute. And then in the middle of the table, there's these transparent cards, which have these kind of like little symbols on them.
Oh,
and now
yeah.
You can do anything you want with these transparent cards. You can attach them together so they make something. You can animate them as well, so you can move them around, and you don't say anything. You don't do any kind of verbal clues, or you don't do any physical clues by pointing yourself. There's an arrow on one of these cards, so you use the arrow to point at something to indicate what it is, and you just create like a little mini film with these celluloid images, and you just add them together. So maybe, that's a parachute. There you go. I just made that up at the same time. So you do that. You animate the cards. You do that either on the table or in the air. It's up to you. But yeah. And people got to guess it. It's very, very simple. It's very quick to play. Loads of hundreds of words. Small box that you can practically take anywhere. Imagine. Just enjoy it. We played this the other week, actually, instead of playing code names, because we normally end up playing code names, and I thought, I don't want to play code names anymore. I want to play this.
Yeah, that looks great. I've seen some stuff on that. That looks awesome.
Yeah. Rob, you could actually eat those cards.
You could eat those cards. Are you hungry, Robert? Robert? Did you eat the government cheese, Robert? Were you constipated too, Robert?
Unfortunately,
I don't know where it comes from.
They don't need a box insert. They come with a very nice box insert.
Oh.
So, puts Robert out of a job. Look at that.
No, but Robert's box insert would be lighter weight and funner for some reason.
It would be, but that's a pretty good insert.
It is a pretty good insert. Yeah, that's good. Who makes that?
That's Cocktail Games over in France.
Cocktail Games in France. I think there's a U.S. publisher of that.
There is a U.S. publisher. I am looking now. I don't know if any of them. Hutch, Asmodee. Game Right.
We'll be back. Take over the gaming
and
world.
Munster Games. Oh, yeah, of course, Munster Games, which is... Yeah.
Munster Games. They do a great job with cheese. Really good job. All right. My number 3, and again, this was just so simple. This is from a fantastic designer. It's from one of the companies that I just love. This company is so cool. But before I actually get into that was cheesy, Kev Rob said. Before I get into this, what we want to do one thing with our sponsor, Arcane Wonders. Now, Arcane Wonders, they have a fantastic Kickstarter that was incredibly successful for their game, Foundations of Rome, designed by Emerson Matsuuchi. It's an amazing game. I've played the prototype 6 or 7 times. Absolutely. It's my most excited game that I'm waiting to get. From their Kickstarter that's going to be coming out this early next year. It's amazing. You should see all the sculpts and the cities and all the things that they're doing. Game Toppers, our company, is actually making this Roman-themed game mat in all of our different game sizes, and it's inspired by the artwork of this incredible game. So I am super pumped about all that. But alongside that, Arcane Wonders just released their print copy for distribution, the game called Smartphone. You see it sitting right here, back here behind me, and the expansion for the upgrade 1.1. This is the expansion, which also has a really cool 2 and 3 player board to it. This is an economic game where you're trying to build basically different branches across the world to sell your smartphones. And you have a pricing track on where your smartphones are going to go as far as price goes. And then you're going to be able to build technologies. And as you build those technologies, That's going to help you get additional technologies, which will help you to have other opportunities to sell these phones in the different markets that you're expanding to. The production quality, it's off the hook. I love the production quality. Double layer boards that your components hold in. It has little trays that you get to keep your different tokens, and they have different shape tokens for the cubes for the different, whether it's your progress or whether it's your actual phones or if it's your little buildings that represent, your ability to sell in a different region. And anyway, I've only played the game one time so far. We had a great game, 4 players, loved it, thought production was amazing. I can't wait to play more of it and at different player counts. But we have a special giveaway. Arcane Wonders is giving away a copy of Smartphone and Smartphone 1.1 Upgrade, Smartphone Inc.
Woo!
Way cool. And what you have to do to win this game, we're going to let this game run for a whole month. At the end of September, we are going to announce the winner. But the winner will receive a copy of Smartphone Inc. Upgrade. And all you have to do is hashtag on Twitter or Facebook, Smartphone Now. Hashtag Smartphone Now. And then take a selfie of you looking like that image. And this is, you can choose either of the covers. So you can depict this however you want. And you're basically holding your smartphone or you're holding a tablet and you're having that semi-executive smartphone look, if you will. Hipsterish, it looks like, for the guy, and the gal is very professional and very, very nice artwork that's all around that's a little bit industrial. If you want to do something in the background, you can. That's not so important. Just take a picture of yourself, basically. And hashtag Smartphone Now and copy at Arcane Wonders and at Burky and Badger Board Game Babble on Facebook or Twitter. We will post more of this next week on our full-blown show, the Burky and Badger Board Game Babble show, and you'll see some graphics that will come up on our Facebook pages and our Twitter stream that'll allow you to know the specifics of this as well. So thank you very much, Arcane Wonders, for all the fun, creating great games, and helping us do a great giveaway for our listeners. Smartphone Now. Smartphone Now. So back to my third pick. One of my favorite companies, one of my favorite designers. This is my favorite game of all time. So those of you that know me know it's pretty easy, but yes, of course, this is
Blood
Area
Rage?
Control. Blood Rage! We're Vikings! For glory! For Valhalla! This is a very special copy because my good friend Robert Oren painted this copy for me. Very, very special. I have the Meeple Realty custom insert for it. I have all the expansions.
But no Rob Searing insert, no?
No, on this one I actually have the Meeple Realty one, which is really cool. I have the playmat. I've played this game many, many times. This game has drafting. It has area control. It has a lot of strategy. What's kind of interesting about it is, the Viking lore and theme in this game is off the charts. It's the best. We did a board game theater episode with Lance Meister, came to our home, The Undead Viking, and we filmed 3 30-minute episodes. That's how much we love this game. It had over 100 hours of production. It was a super fun episode and shows how the game was played, but we just always have fun playing this game. It takes a little bit, honestly, to get into the game. The first game, if you're not familiar with the drafting and the teacher of the game doesn't help you a little bit to point out a few things, you're going to be at a disadvantage because you don't want to let certain things happen in the drafting in order to be competitive. So if that bothers you, I would let you know that ahead of time, because just a little bit of understanding of the drafting, and you'll be able to mitigate, making any major mistakes, or have someone that really knows the game well to be a runaway leader. But generally speaking, hey, be careful. You might want to get that Loki card. Don't let so-and-so get that Loki card, because if they get all of the Loki cards, they're going to have a pretty powerful combination scenario. That's probably my only knock and hesitation on recommending it, if that would bother you, or at least to make you aware that that's something that's going on, because this is area control. We're going after each other.
Yeah.
There's some games that are really highly cutthroat that I don't like. Games where I built something and then all of a sudden it just taken away from you. I don't like that. But when it comes to this kind of game, area control, where we're all fighting for something, we all know that we're doing that, and I love it. I can't say enough great things about Blood Rage. I'll play it at a drop of a hat. I want to check out the Steam implementation. I heard they had a lot of problems with it early on. Okay. And I'm not a Steam guy. I don't do any digital games other than some iOS games. So
no, you have cold showers. You don't.
Steam showers, yeah.
No, you're not a sauna guy.
No, I am a sauna guy.
But you don't do Steam.
Oh, I don't do Steam. No.
You're not into Peter Gabriel then either.
Big house, big house. What else is in that song? Big house, big car, big toy. Got a big house. That's Peter Gabriel, right? Yeah. Possibly. Of course it is. It is. So that is one of his biggest hits of all time, and one
big
of the biggest,
house,
and biggest hits, and biggest house, biggest steam shower. He has a steam shower that's very big.
Okay.
Sometimes he has two of them. He combines them, and then it's
and in this box here.
So Blood Rage, cool, mini or not, or come on, makes that game. You can still even get a hold of it. Blood Rage, my number one from 2015.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty silly today.
You are pretty silly today.
Yeah.
And
I got to go back to work, so I got to have some fun here.
Yeah, I got to go and have a massage. So
massage.
Hot day in the vineyard. A massage.
Yeah,
I could do with some steam, actually. Yeah,
steam massage.
Hot steam massage on my back.
With an iron. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, so yeah. So my third pick from 2015 is a game which kind of feels very similar to a game that everybody loves, and that's Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and why not? And this game kind of implements the same kind of idea of card collecting to build stuff. And that stuff that you're building is actually New York in 1901.
I love that game.
It is such a nice game, and it's such a nice, if you know how to play Ticket to Ride, you'll learn how to play this within seconds. It's a light family game with just a smidgen of strategy in regards to building stuff here, there, and every way. So you're basically collecting cards of a certain color, which will let you buy land in of that color, and then you can use that land to start building buildings, but you've only got like X amount of workers that can work at the same time. And these buildings, you can make them bigger as the years go on, or as your school goes on. And it's a race for points, and it's a lot about strategic maneuvering and planning, because anybody can buy any piece of land as long as they have those cards. And it's just light, fluffy fun with some... I wouldn't say the artwork was fantastic, but that's a shame because it's Vincent Dutre as well. So, but it's just a simple game which looks good. It's colourful and it's pleasant to play. There's some nice components with the buildings, and I've actually got an expansion with some workers, some actually worker meeple.
Well, and the And the shapes of how all those buildings fit on the different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
That there's kind of a puzzle there also that goes along with that strategy and set collection. And
yeah, because it's like Tetris shapes, and certain shapes are more harder to squeeze into certain areas and in between certain streets, for example. And again, as I said, it's kind of like area control because you're going to be buying land in different places, and so everyone's watching, everyone's doing and buying. You get bonus points for having buildings on a certain road. You get bonus points for having X amount of Bronze Age, as they call it, or bronze.
Yeah, because you can upgrade your
So you can destroy buildings. Which is a shame, but at the same time, putting a bigger building in its place will give you a lot more points, but you kind of like lost a bit of space. So there's lots of things to think about, but it's relatively light and colourful. Really enjoy it as an alternative to Ticket to Ride. So if we're not in the mood for trains, we're in the mood for skyscrapers. And there you go.
I'm in the mood for love, simply because you're near me.
And thank you to our sponsor. Lipton Ice iced tea for refreshing.
I do like the artwork though. Vincent Dutrait's one of my favorite artists. And he paints his stuff actually on canvas and digitizes, which is very unique compared to a lot of the artists today in doing graphics for a game. And while the game itself isn't anything crazy, the board and all that, it looks good, but the cover is great. And I think Blue Orange Games really put themselves in a place in the tabletop gaming space with this game because it was very well received, and I think people really took note of some of their products.
Yeah. The only reason I say that the art is okay is because I've seen Vincent Dutrait do like thousands of pieces of art in the game museum, for example, which has but that's mind blowing. There's just like the box art, which is really nice, and then there's the card art, which is okay, and that's it. There's not much art in there to appreciate, but the more art there is, the more that you appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great choice. So I picked Steam Park Rally, Baseball Highlights 2045, and Blood Rage, and Barry picked.
I picked Imagine, Nut Job, and New York 1901. That was 3 of our favorites each from 2015. What were yours? We'd love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Join us in Facebook, on the YouTube. You can even check out our Burky and Badger Board Game Babble Board Game Geek Guild. Say that really 5 times fast. Board Game Geek Guild 2248.
Okay, Burky and Badger's Board Game Geek Guild 2248. Burky and Badger's Board Game Geek Guild 2248. Burky and Badger's Board Game Geek Guild 2248.
Burky and Badger's Board Game Babble Board Game Geek Guild 2248.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby. That takes it up another notch.
It does. Bam! Bam! Just like the skunk weasel powder. Whatever that is.
Well, Badger, what a great chance to get together and talk with you again and have, even though this is a short excerpt that we do every so often, it's fun to be able to connect again with you and talk about some of our favorite games, right?
Yeah, it is fun. Unfortunately, we got to crack the whip and get back to work on our many projects that we have in our lives. But hopefully we will see each other next week for a show.
Absolutely.
A longer show, and we'll be able to have more chance to be stupid.
Well, that's us. It's tuning off. Burky and Badger Board Game Babble Show. Find us on Facebook and on Twitter and on Board Games Everybody Should. Boom.com. Board Games Everybody Should. Boom. Feel like we're in a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, wait, I thought you were doing a William Shatner impression there, but
But we must do Board Game Babble.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Rodney Smith now. And remember to please play nicely with each other.
All right. Stay well, everybody. Enjoy gaming. We'll see you later.
We're so glad we had this time together. And now it's time to go. It won't be long until we have another show. So keep us in mind, get online. Burky and Badger will be back in no time.
It's still locked.